Okay, so it's 1:35 on the 14th, and I'm picking up Ruthie this morning. They weren't getting there until super late last night, so I was like, I don't want to bring her, because even though I'm up and I could have gone, um, it still is like bring her in and introduce her to the dogs in the middle of the night. I'll just do it in the morning. So the break of dawn, I don't think it's going to be dawn when I leave to go get her, because the lady's got to get going and go to the next place. The and she was just hitting storm after storm. And when I was talking to her yesterday, which I've got this bad habit because I put my phone on do not disturb, I kind of feel like, oh, probably everybody does, but no, not everybody does. Some people have their phone awake while they're asleep, and then they get notified, and then you wake them up. So I feel bad, but but anyways, I did that last night because I thought she'd have her phone off. And anyways, so I woke her up. But when she and I was trying to figure out like our meeting place and stuff, so I had questions that I was trying to ask about where we were meeting. And I was like, well, what is your route? Like, which way are you coming? And so she told me. And then there's all these bad storms. Like there's blizzards, there's floods. Actually, a place I used to live in, Colorado, is flooded. So down by Durango, Pagosa Springs and stuff, it's flooded, and houses got wiped out. Then, I don't know. I just saw videos saying Arizona is. Alaska got wiped, man. And that storm came from over, I don't know, like by the Philippines or something. I'm not sure. But it was a typhoon, and it had like over 100-mile-an-hour winds, but people woke up to their houses floating down the rivers or floating out into the ocean, some of them. So they've got a huge disaster, and people are really upset because the media is not talking about it, the government's not talking about it, it's just being ignored. And so, anyways, there's all sorts of fuckery going over there. The, what was it? There's just like disaster after disaster going. But I knew that that was going to be happening. So, and then these blizzards, and I saw a bunch of videos. So over where I was living before, well, definitely that pass, Snoqualmie Pass, when I would have to go across all the time, it's snow. Then up by Winthrop, which is the next route, because there was 3 routes that I could do. It was crossing Snoqualmie, Stevens, or then if you go up there to the top one, but that closes down. So I guess it'd be closing down now, because that route closes down for winter because you can't get through it. And so it's already got snow. So I think the person who was showing that video said they're going to have to turn around because, yeah, they closed that route when it's snow, which it keeps reminding me of a video. They even did a movie about it. I think it was in Norway or something, but there was a route that closed down. And I don't know if these people were tourists or what they were, but they went that way when they weren't supposed to, and they ended up getting snowed in, and they kept thinking somebody would come, but the roads closed down, nobody came. And so they were stuck out there, snowed in. I don't remember if they lived, but they made a movie about it. I don't know that the movie was as factual, but anyways, I think the lady was pregnant too. It was really, really sad. But yeah, they're stuck, snowed in for months, out and just out in the middle of nowhere because nobody's around. So, but anyways, that route's one of those, and it's already got snow. So I asked her, well, which way are you coming? Aren't you coming up through Spokane? And she's like, no, I'm coming up through, going up the other way, up through Idaho. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It's faster. So I was looking on navigation because she said she was coming from Weed. And so I put it in my navigation, and it was like 2 hours quicker to go the direction I was saying. So I sent her a message and I said, I'm confused why you're going that way. Do you have another pickup or something? I thought your next one was in Post Falls, because that's 2 hours longer the way you're going, and it's way twistier and through the mountains and stuff. And so she said, well, this is the way it's taking me because there's so many different blizzards and shit going on. And so then a little while later, I don't know, 10 minutes later, she messages me and she said, oh no, now it's taking me the direction you're saying. Which I was like, yeah, I just drove it yesterday and there wasn't any blizzards or anything. It was raining, but on the wet, because I keep checking the weather thing because I have all these different spots pulled up, and it looks like it's going to be sunny this weekend while I'm going, but down like by Mount Shasta or something, there's blizzards and stuff. So she was coming up through California and whatever route she was taking, which my brother, I said, well, are you going to be hitting all these storms in since because he's driving up this week too at the same time I'm driving. And he said, only he's got to drive for 2 days. So he's leaving tomorrow, I think. And then we're going to get there like the same day though. So maybe he's leaving the 16th. But anyways, we'll get there the 17th. So he said that they're missing that one storm, but then another storm's coming right behind him. So it's like, shit. Me hurrying and getting this done was way smarter. But also now, when I started talking more serious about building a house out there, he's like, well, I said, well, why would you say? But I knew it was like, he's thinking I'm far-fetched. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can build a house because nothing's going to change. Everything's changing. Like, it's just so crazy when you talk to people who don't know because they don't know. And but there's a lot of stuff going on. And I told him, well, it looks like we're on first base. And I keep seeing this whole analogy through baseball. And I think we're just stealing it onto second. We're about to go onto second base. So things are moving, I think. Yesterday I saw so many videos talking about gold and silver, and they were saying silver was definitely a good choice to invest in. But anyways, she was coming up that route now. So she came up through Kennewick, the same one I drove, and then came up into the back end of Spokane. Well, it depends on which way you're coming, if it's back end or front end, but anyways, coming from the Seattle direction. And so she's out by the airport, and then she's got to get going this morning. So I got to drive out there and get Ruthie, and then that's that. And then come home, and I got 2 days to hang out with her and the other dogs to kind of introduce them, to kind of get them to warm up to each other. And last night we went and rescued 3 little kittens, and the woman who called my mom said that she thought that they had been in this barn by themselves. They're super friendly, but there doesn't seem to be a mom around, and so they don't seem to have eaten or anything. She had tried to give them like kitten chow or something, and but she said, I think it's too cold at this point now. It's getting so cold. I think that they need, do you know any fosters? So my mom was like, let's go. So we go over there, we get them. I helped her give them their first little meal. Oh my God, it was so cute. They were going so crazy. They're so cute. 2 little gray, really fluffy ones, and then another one that's kind of orangey. So she's most worried about the one that's kind of orangey. So I don't know how that, she got him a whole little crate set up with heat going into it and all this stuff to try and warm them up. They were really cold too, even when you were holding them. And then they kept looking like they wanted to, like they got full, it seemed, but they still wanted to like find their mom. I feel bad for them. My mom said she thinks they're probably about 3 weeks old. They're cute as can be. And she's got so many adult cats that she's done this with, even younger ones, But she said it's really hard because kittens are super fragile and they can just die. She said she's had bigger ones and this just die. So anyways, I went with her, a part of this big rescue for these kittens. So I haven't seen them yet this morning, but I don't know if they kept her up all night, wanted to eat and eat and eat, because she wanted to go with me to get Ruthie so she could hold Ruthie while I drive. But we'll see how our night went. But anyway, oh my God, this morning when I made my tea, like I was having the craziest dreams, which another thing too, my mom was telling me yesterday, she was sitting there talking, she goes, wait a minute, oh my gosh, I dreamt that. And she started trying to tell me this weird dream. And she said, she's one of those people who said, I never dream. I don't dream. I don't dream. and I would say, everybody dreams. And she goes, well, I don't remember them. I never remember a dream. She said, now, lately, she's having the craziest dreams and she remembers them. And she can't tell if it's real or if it's a dream. And I was like, yeah, it's so crazy. I said, not only that, I can be doing something and I'll be thinking, did I dream that or did that really happen? And it's like it's like this blending. Like you can't. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, so she is having the same thing, and she's one of those people who says that she never dreams. So that is my dreams last night were. I mean, they're so strange. Some of them are so strange. It's like, man. And they're so vivid. And they're so long. Oh my God. And I woke up the first time and it was really hot and stuff. And I go check my phone. It was 10:30. I was like, oh my God, I can't get up yet. So I went back in and went back to sleep. Then had more weird dreams. Got up again. It was 12:30. And I was like, fuck it. I'm getting up. And then, so I'm going to do this, and since I'm leaving so early, I'm going to can download it while I'm driving on the Wi-Fi out there, because how much ever data I have on this Starlink right now, I don't know. I'm not even watching TV, because you can't even watch TV. It takes from the data. It's like, so, hold on. My fourth cup of tea. Oh yeah. So I go to make my tea, and I have one little teapot. So I have my water that boils. Then I have a little teapot that has my leaves and stuff in it. So all that stuff is in a like this mesh thing, so that it so you don't drink all the stems and leaves and stuff. So that one's got its own stuff. And then my powders go right into the cup with the honey. So I do all my honey and all my powders in the cup. And then I start pouring the one out of the little thing, but it was like, oh, it's dead. It needs more stuff in it. So I go get my tea leaves and all that, and I start to put them in. I put them fucking right into here. I was like, what in the asinine, oh my God, I couldn't even believe it. I mean, it already had all of my stuff in it. I was just like, fucking hell. So I just scoop everything out and put it in that one, so it's really funky this morning. But anyways, it's my fourth cup. And everything feels so fucking weird. It's so fucking intense right now, I can't even believe it. I'm still snoring my head off. Hold on, let me drink this. This is already getting cold. Like, it's freaking cold. Which is going to be nice not to be in winter's coming in hard and fast. It's like fucking October. And so, yeah, it's going to be nice not to be in the garage in the winter. But but I don't know what's going to happen about where I'm going next. Like I told my brother, I telling my brother, my plan is not to come and stay living in this thing. If I'm not building a house out there, then this is transitional. I'm thinking I'm not even going to unpack all my boxes, because this moving bullshit is really getting old. And it's so funny too. The one house I had before my brain injury, I was like, this is the house I'm staying in. I was gonna get another house down south. So I wanted to have two houses, but I was just gonna get new stuff down there. And so once I said, I didn't ever want to move again. How many motherfucking times have I moved since then? Just like, son of a bitch, man. So, anyways, it wasn't in my cards to stay there. And it's been very transitional for a long time. But even when I had my place over there, I had no intention of that being my forever home. I was going to stay there, fix it up, and make it an Airbnb and move somewhere else. I had no intention of that to be where I was planning on living forever. And but then everything went down and changed the prices of everything, and it kind of handicapped me into being able to do what I wanted to do. And then when I saw through the bullshit of what was going on, and then I was like, I'm not participating. I'm not playing this. I'm not going to sit there and fund these fucking weirdos either. Which I just saw a video talking something about the Google and something about the real name or what it's listed as or something. And it's listed with the Chrome and the other word before that. It's like, yep. And then I keep seeing these videos talking about America is the original place, is where the Africans, which are the Moor tribe or something, that they were originally here, and all these places are named that were Africa, and that there's all this stuff about the Grand Canyon and all these buildings that are so more elaborate, like way beyond what we build now. And then they threatened the Moors and made them leave, or they were going to enslave them. So it was more that they didn't go to Africa and take them. They took them from here and said, you get the fuck out or we're going to make you our slaves. Which they also did that down by by the coastline down, and I don't know, all along the Gulf, I guess, along Florida and stuff, from all the people that were coming, like from South America, Central America, the Caribbean, all of that. Those tribes that had navigated or made it into those sections, that they also enslaved them. And then also the tribes that were over by Mexico and Texas, and that's when they went to battle with them. And there's all these people who were told that they were Mexican, are now through this people doing their DNA, I guess. Then they started finding out that they were Native American. They were different than what they were told. And Mexican was kind of like that they took all these people there and they told them that that's what they were, but they were really from these tribes that were pushed back. It's the same thing. They'd come in, they take away the land, and then they say, get the fuck out of here, we'll kill you or enslave you. And so they were pushing everybody to take this place over. And then the buildings, then they started knocking buildings down and stuff. So it's weird too, because then there's like really old places in Europe and stuff. So it must have been that they had already, that a lot of those people were trying to escape these, I don't know, these royals, because it's like the Church and the Crown have been what has been trying to take over. It's so crazy too, because there's so many people just completely are absorbed into the church's stories, and these churches are being exposed to have things that lead underground to get them to places to get to work on this slavery thing. So this or the traffic situation or other more nefarious things that they do. So but anyways, just everything about America and our world and everything is just lie after lie after lie after lie. And I know that time is not different than what they tell us and stuff. And so it isn't like we were advanced here and then we became less advanced. There is windows of time, and we just happen to be in this one. And it happens to be a period of time of enlightenment. And part of the enlightenment is to receive information in regards to different times in history, which isn't really a linear segment. It's more of pockets of time. And um probably the atlas that's coming, because there's more weird things there's about that too. It's like separated now, and it's like more things, there's all sorts of things, and then people keep seeing weird stuff in the sky and stuff. So but those beings, they're not coming to create harm. They're coming to uh like help us, enlighten us or something. So and it could be they're coming for, the timing could be that they arrive for the cleanup from all these disasters, because I think that this is just getting going. I think there's going to be more. The because the big ones are going to be like this West Coast volcano, earthquake, tsunami situation. So there's going to be some big ones that are going to happen. And the Mississippi thing could still be like a whole thing with the winter storms, because what they did like before with that hurricane thing. So I don't know. I know that there's going to continue to be these disasters. And I got in this whole discussion yesterday with my mom, and I'm not going to sit and argue, because uh, it's like, these things are happening, but this isn't going to happen past this, because the Bible says this is the way it's going to go down. And I'm just like, I don't think it's going to go down the way that they have said that it's going to go down. And but there's all these like these different what are they called? Like different parts, different things. Like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And to me, yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. But it's going to happen in a different kind of way than what, because she said that the 2/3 of the population is going to be gone. That's what that other thing was saying too. 2/3 of the population is going to be gone. And I said it's going to be the natural disasters and stuff. And before she had said this, she thought it was going to be the sleeper cell people. But now she was saying, I guess I said, I don't if it was the rapture or something, but she said that because there's this stuff that is changing right now over the money thing, where it seems that we would be advancing in a different direction. Man, I feel like I'm trying to talk over her snoring. Swear to God. So the sometimes she snores so freaking loud. But so I gotta try and remember, because it was like the whole thing where I was listening was like, because there's the whole thing with the Antichrist, and the Antichrist is going to make it seem like good things are happening, but it's a trick. And then bad things are going to start happening. And then Jesus is going to come. This is out of the Bible thing. And so they've got it laid out how this stuff is going to happen. So there's people who, believe that storyline, which I don't believe that storyline, because I believe that this good stuff is happening. It's going to bring certain things up in people. And so right now it seems like this crash is imminent. Seems like, we'll see, because there's a lot of speculation over, guys, what apparently that there is all this money that has to come out today, that has to pay all this stuff, like has to pay all of the military, has to pay all these different things. that the government has to pay. Well, they didn't make the deposit. And it's funny, too, how so much stuff is being blamed on Schumer. So, and it's all like a big show. So, because it's always had to play out this way. And so Schumer is taking the blame because apparently he's the one who said, well, we're shutting down the government. Unless you give us what we want, we're shutting it down. So they shut it down. But I think there's a lot of people who think like Donald's doing it. But it's the other side. So, and it's JD was on Stephanopoulos or whatever, his show, and he was trying to create a distraction, and JD called him out and said, why don't we talk about the real issue? What's going on here is we got people who can't feed their kids and stuff like that. And George said something snide and snotty and then cut him off and then cut the thing. It was like, no, well, we're done. Thanks for coming. And so, I don't know. It's like to keep being like the one side is really just, but you gotta see it. Like so many of us see it already, and so many people who still follow that side don't see it. But it keeps being more and more in your face. So they've got everything feels so fucking intense. I swear to God, I feel like I'm about to come out of my skin. So, anyways, it's so they've got all this money that's supposed to come out, and they didn't put it in the deposit. And then it will be blamed, well, how are we supposed to put in the money when you put a hold on the money or something? So I don't know how it's going to play out. But there's the people who were talking about it. And these are people who are not happy about it. They're not like being like, oh, yay, it's about to crash. No, they're all freaking out about it. And but then there's all these people who are in the metals, in the gold and the silver and stuff. And they said, well, I think that the gold's going to go to like 20 or 30,000 an ounce. So it's at 4 right now, and they think it's going to go way up. Well, because we're going on the gold standard. But that silver is going to be the biggest dramatic thing because silver is used for so much stuff. Here she comes. So silver is used for so much stuff. It has a lot of use, which that's what I had heard before, and it's going to go to like $10,000. It's at some point. I mean, it's not going to be like the first week or something. They're thinking it could go up to right now it just doubled, so it went to like 50. Then they're thinking it's going to go to 100. God dang, will you just lay still? Oh, God, I'm telling you, I swear to God, oh, God, I feel like everything is disrupted right now. Oh, God. So it's going to go, I was trying to get my freaking thoughts straight. So then it's supposed to go like they're expecting it's going to go to like 500 or 600. Then they're expecting it's going to go to like 1,000, which is a huge big thing from 25 an ounce to 1,000. But then it's supposed to continue to keep going up and up and up and up. So over the next few years, that it's going to go way, way up. Where they're saying like it's a really good investment, but now it's put a freeze on it. So they froze gold and silver. Like you can't buy it, sell it, or anything right now. And there's a bunch of people where there were some people blaming it on. So there's all these people. God dang it. Will you please stop, Stella? All these people who went and bought it. And then they, as soon as it, so it went from 25 to 50, and they all run to try and make their money and get it back. It's like, yeah, when you're investing in something, you got to go a little bit longer term. Like, yeah, you doubled your money, but $50 an ounce, that's like nothing. Some of these people are going to be kicking themselves when they see, which there's so many people who try to jump in on the coin, the bit, and they're losing their shirt or something. Like, you got to really know. Oh, my God. You got to really know what you're doing or whatever on this stuff. And I don't know. Or so many people are just trying to make a quick buck. They don't have any idea what's going on with the economy on this one level. They know this level They know the level of the currency and the dollar bill and all that stuff, but they're not looking at it going through this other thing. They're not. It's like you got to look at the underbelly of what the world has been. It's like, but they haven't been. They're still stuck on the old system, and so they think that it's going to be this huge disaster and stuff, which is gonna, to some people, it's gonna be a huge disaster. But but people who are going and investing, we're going to this asset based, so it has to have something that backs it. And that's like what I was saying yesterday. It's not just like, oh, well, we've sold more of it, so we've got all these investors in it. And so it's based on everybody investing in it. That is going to fall apart because that is a scam. It's like a pyramid scheme or something. So all those kinds of things are going to fall apart. But you know, these people who go and invest and so it's going bust and stuff like that. And people are losing their money that they thought that they were going to make all this money. There's only certain ones, and the reason why it's got that X and a P at the end with an R in the middle, that is the one that the government is going to use. And I don't understand all about this crypto thing, but it is how they're going to. It's like the carrier. It's like something that's going to be the carrier. Which, speaking of carrier, USPS is about to have some kind of big change thing that's going to be happening too, because everything's got to split apart. It became like under corporate rule, it's got to split over to constitutional or something. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but the reason with the X and the P, why the people who have invested in that, and I don't even know what you can even invest into at this point. But that one is because it's going to be used so heavily, and it is going to, and they are giving it all of this asset. So the gold is going to be kept in like their, oh, that's not the word. That's not the word. Safe. So it's like it's going to be inside of their safe. So the X and the P with the R in the middle, that is going to be the ones who are keeping it. And so it is going to become asset based. And that's already in the process. And so the people who invested in that are going to be making a ton of money because their stuff is going to, whatever, if it's stock or coin, I don't really know how it works, but they are going to make a lot more. And so those people are out there talking about all the stuff going on with that. And then you got all these people from the metal and stuff, but they were saying that, so all these people who made this big run on trying to sell their silver messed up the market or something, and that's why they had to shut it down. But I also heard that had to do with the banks, because the banks were trying to get this money because the loans on all the houses and stuff. So the banks are in crisis in that there's a bunch of banks that are not going to be loaning money. That's how they're going to try and solve their thing. But they're in a crisis because nobody's paying. That was my whole motivation when I stopped paying, was to be the wave that was coming in to hit them where it hurts. And so, even though I could have paid, and a lot of people think you should have paid, and you should be an upstanding citizen, and all of that stuff, is because they're corrupt. And I hit back with, they're going to be taking all these people's houses, and I'm not paying them. And so, which I lost mine, but I still feel like that it only went a certain level. I still feel like it's just sitting there because they don't have all of the same way that they can do things anymore. There's roadblocks for them when they're trying to take all these different houses and stuff, and and they're doing corrupt, illegal things, and so they're all going to be, you know, they're going to be getting in. There's going to be repercussions to some of these crimes that they've done, and they are against humans only add an entity at the end, and so that is that's a big offense. And the people, and there's a lot of people that don't even know that what they're involved in, and so there's going to be big repercussions for what some of these people are doing. And so, but it has something that everything is falling apart together. And Donald's doing some of this stuff on purpose. Like this is all supposed to happen. It's all prepared. It's all set up for this new thing. So, so to me, whatever, I don't know if they're gonna, open banks today, or some banks will have a big drama. And there's somebody I saw who was talking about said there's gonna probably be bank runs today because there's gonna be weird things about the money. People aren't gonna get their deposits, which tomorrow would be my Social Security deposit. So we'll see what goes with that. And but there's supposedly going to be problems with deposits, which is going to cause people to panic and go to the banks to try to get money. And the banks are going to be like, well, we don't have any money. We can't give you any money. So it's going to be a whole thing. So I don't know how it's going to play out. They've had this playing out in different countries, and it's all been very dramatic in all these different ones that it's already gone down in. So there's no telling what's going to go here. But there was a lot of people saying that this 3-day weekend and all the things going in the meetings and all this stuff. And Donald had a huge thing yesterday on peace, and he had all these world leaders and from all these different countries coming together, and they were all signing on to this big peace agreement. And now they're up, more of them want to give him the Nobel Peace Prize and stuff like that. So, and that's all part of it too. So to me, that's like, we were on first base, and that's where I start seeing like, oh, okay, we're trying to steal second. So we'll see today how the next hitter goes, and we'll see what happens. But I feel like that we're going to get somebody on every base. I think we're going to have the one who's trying to steal second is going to be on third. We're going to have somebody on second. We're going to have somebody on first, and we're just waiting for the home run. So I feel like it's getting closer and closer. And it's just so crazy because there's so many people who don't think it. And when I was telling my brother yesterday, I said, well, if I'm not going to be building a house there, I'm not going to be staying, because I'm going to go get a house. And so he was asking me more questions and stuff. And he was asking me about investing and stuff. And I said, because I told him a long time ago, and he kind of did this, I don't know, it was kind of a like, okay. And because I said, well, if you've got the money, you should invest in gold. And he, was smug about it. And I don't think he did. And I said, well, it's too late now. They froze it. You can't invest into it. And so he was asking me some questions, and he said, well, I had a friend telling me this like 10 years ago. And I said, well, yeah, there's a lot of us have been talking about it for a long time. We've been watching it. I mean, it's been coming for a long time. But now we're here. We've got somebody on first base. Like it's happening. And whether or not, we knock it the whole way or they end up going back to the bench, that's what, remains to be seen. So we got to see how it plays out and how, the game proceeds. But yeah, right now, it definitely seemed to me that we got somebody on first that's trying to steal second, and things are moving. And we got the next hitter up, so we'll see how that hard this one hits. But I think we're going to have somebody on first, second, and third real quick. And so anyways, he was saying, well, the guy had said about this a long time ago. I said, yeah, but this is the thing, is because I had these discussions with my mom all the time too. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm never going to see it in my lifetime. It's like, for one thing, you wanted her to be like, don't say that stuff. Like, people don't understand that part of existence at this point. But then, because you say that kind of stuff, and if it's going to happen, well, are you going to be here still? Or like, you just, what you put out will come back to you. So, so anyways, I said, yeah, but so many people think because it hasn't happened yet that it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, and she's like, but it's going so slow. And I said, yeah, but that's to try and get people to see things. And so it's going slow, but it's going, I said, to me, what it is like you've got somebody who's running to do this cartwheel. I said, so they're running, and I said, I think now the cartwheel is like they're putting their hands down and they're about to flip. I said, when it flips, it's going to go fast. It's not going to be just like getting up there to go build momentum to get a good cartwheel. No, once their hands hit and they flip, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a flip. It's going to be fast. So right now it feels like, oh my God, it's so tedious and slow and it just moves so slow. It's never going to, and that's what it feeds into. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You got to buzz through that. You got to buzz through programming. And so, um, and when it happens, it's gonna flip. So it doesn't matter how many times they've gone up and like, okay, well we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and it hadn't happened. And then yeah, don't feed into that energy. Oh well, it's never gonna happen. It's all a big show. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna. We're gonna be stuck like this for the rest of our lives and stuff like that. No, this is the time of change. It is written in the stars. It's written. This is it. And so it doesn't matter if it was running up and the cartwheel didn't go, and then they ran up again and didn't go. Anybody, somebody who can't do cartwheels, so I completely get the running in. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. But the spectacular part of being able to do it, once you can do it, then that is what we're going to have. We're going to have this spectacular cartwheel. It's going to flip everything and it's going to go fast. And it could be this week. So I see these different ways of seeing it, but definitely see the cartwheel thing. I definitely see the baseball game thing, but definitely it seems like we've got a lot of action that's going on. And then we have all these different storms happening because it's like the energy of the storm is here. It's like we're in it. This is the time of change. And so, all those things and the storylines that have been told and stuff like that, like what that, the Antichrist, tribulation, and all of that. And then to me, it's like, no, once this flips and it goes, the tribulation is going to be personal to me. You know, it's going to be trials and, I mean, because there's going to be people who are going to be paying for crimes. So yeah, it's going to be intense. But it still is, we're going in a new direction. It's like, and we are going to peace on earth. But but in the story, the biblical one, yeah, it's different. So they've got everything backwards and upside down, just like everything in our world is backwards and upside down. But so, but people who believe in the program, they're running that program. It's like, no, this is the only way it's going to happen. This is the way it's written and stuff like that. And anybody else who thinks different is wrong. Well, we'll see how it plays out. Because I think that the storyline that have been fed to people is the one that's upside down and backwards. I think what's going to happen is clear, and it's how things work. It's like the momentum of existence. And the story is written like this is a time of change. This is when it goes and it is going to heaven on earth. And so it's going to be a higher vibration. The lower vibration is going to split off and it's going to go in a different direction, which there was another one of these people. This is the first video that I saw this morning. And every time that I see these people, they all have this just horrific look on their face. Like, I don't think people are making this up. I think this is really happening because the look on their face is just like, I don't even know how to explain it. So this guy, first video I saw this morning, he was like, I am so sick of it. I can't even take it anymore. I am so sick of this. What is wrong with people? And so that is what he is saying. So he was going to somebody's house, and as he's walking up, he hears their dog just yelping its head off. And he thinks, oh my God, this dog is hurt. I got to hurry and rush in here. So he goes running into this place to try and help this dog. And what he finds is a sex scene. And so this man is going to town on his dog. And so the guy busts in, and the guy turns and looks at him like, whoa. And he said it was a, Jesus Christ, it was a look of like, she says, Stella? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. She's cozy. And she busted this thing apart again. I just sat here fixing it this morning, too. Man. Jesus Christ. I swear to God. I swear to God that everything is so motherfucking intense right now. Which is supposed to be a really weird thing about today and the 14th and time and stuff. So there's supposed to be some really weird things in Pluto. I don't even know. That's weird shit. Oh my God. Jesus. Oh God, I swear to God. Hold on. Oh God. I have no idea why that just did that. All of a sudden, my Roku all of a sudden just went off and went back on. Oh my God, I swear to God. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. How intense everything is right now is weird as shit. Oh my gosh, and it's intense right here, smelling this smell. I don't even know what this smell problem is, but I really want these fucking med beds. I really want things to move into this new thing. But anyways, there's supposed to be this whole thing. And so back on this dog thing, let me finish that first. So the guy goes in, sees this situation. The guy who's doing it, he is shocked. You know, he's caught. And he, I swear she can't be comfortable unless she's knocking into my stuff. Like I swear to God, everything is like you're just doing this on purpose. So they, so then the guy who is manhandling his dog, I swear to God, how many homes are, what is wrong with people? Like, seriously, what the fuck, man? It's just such a lack of respect. No boundaries. No fucking, god dang. So, the guy who's caught now starts freaking out. And he starts trying to pay this guy. When the guy's like, I don't want him. No, I want nothing. Like, I don't want your money. I don't. He's like, he said, I was feeling unsick. That's the dog soup. I'm telling you, everything. So he goes, I was feeling unsafe. I was like, I just want out of here at this point. I just want away because, you know, look, this guy just got caught. Like, what lengths is he gonna go to? And he's doing this, and so he got out of the place and took off, and that's when he was walking and saying like, "What the fuck, man." And the whole look on his face too is just like, I've just seen something so horrible. I can never, it's like put in my brain now. I can't get it out of there. And that same thing with that woman who walked in, she was going to surprise her husband for his birthday and walked in on that situation. And she said the smell too was just like, I thought when she was first saying it, I thought she was going to find him in bed with a guy. But no, in bed with her. And then now she's done more videos and she's like, now she keeps replaying different times that she's come home and different things that were happening. And now she's looking at him way different. But she had the same look on her face as this guy. So it seems like it's, and then the other, that couple, the realtor lady, and what was the guy? Fireman, the realtor and the fireman that got busted, and all their bestialities. Oh my God. I mean, that was extreme. And they've all got it on video and stuff. It's like, what in the holy hell? How many places, how many people are doing this? Like, weird shit. And to me, it's like, if you know that you shouldn't be doing something, then why the hell are you doing it? I'm like, what in you just overrides that? Like, something comes into you and you know, like, I went through this when I was 3. Like, and I wasn't even sure, man, because of the, do I put the soap in the water or do I not put the soap in the water? And so to me, it was like, well, I'm going to put the soap in the water because I was listening to the two voices, and the one said, put the soap in the water, and was telling me all the reasons why, because it always builds up like, hey, well, you shouldn't have told you to come get it. You shouldn't have, this whole thing. So I put the soap in the water, and even though I don't know that I knew I shouldn't do it, but when you have adults who know you shouldn't be doing that, like somebody could walk in and catch you, then you shouldn't be doing it. And this is something that I've known my whole life, is like, you're always being watched. I've talked about this so many times, but people who think that they're getting away with something because nobody's around, nobody sees, you are being watched by the entire universe. Like, you're on somebody's TV screen somewhere. Like, you are being watched. Bet your motherfucking ass. If you don't want to be doing it in front of an audience, then you better fucking slow down and think about it. Like, going and just mindlessly doing shit, and just like thinking like, uh, deer in the headlight. Oh, I'm busted. Dude, you're busted way before that happened. Like, every fucking, all your dead relative, everybody's watching. All your ancestry, yeah, everybody's sitting there watching. And it was also because they don't have the blockage. They could feel, and they don't have the same sense of judgment. But the thing is when you get caught, you're judging yourself, because then you're faced with yourself. But the ones that are watching, they are just watching. It's observation. So they're not in judgment. They are just observing. The dark energy, they feed off of it, though. But you, once you're caught, you begin to judge yourself. And then your reaction can be volatile, it can be versatile. But that is the issue, is once you know that someone's seen, that it's like it sparks something inside of you, where like all of a sudden but I've said it for a long time, if you're not willing to do it in front of your grandparents, don't fucking do it. Like, control your fucking self, man. But these people, I don't know, it's like fetish world. It's like people are just like indulge into their fetishes, indulge. Everything's about this indulgent consumption, consumerism. That's why we've gone into a state of a period of disease. The world is diseased. That's why there has to be this major healing that has happened, because this is the world that we're living in. Just like yesterday when I was talking about the underbelly, like, fuck, man. It's like all around. It's like they feed off of this energy of perversion, and they all just like indulge into it. Like, I don't know. You shouldn't be like crossing species. Like, like what the hell? It's just the consumption, the fucking eating everything, the fucking sexing everything. It's like, oh my God, our world is so disturbing. I completely feel like that guy is like, man, this world is disturbing. It's like it's exhausting, and that energy, I was already feeling it this morning when I got up. Even like I wasn't even sleeping good and having these weird motherfucking dreams. And then get up, first video I see is somebody who's like, God, I'm sick of this. And I was like, oh, dude, fuck, I know. Then he goes in and tells that. It's like, oh my God, that's disturbing. And then his video after video after video, these fucking these humane shelters. Like, what a fucking joke, man. Humane, give me a fucking break. Just mad slaughter. And then when you know the secondary situation on it, they're just selling it for fucking food. It's like, this is, our world is so, but see, these people who are doing this shit, there's consequences. This isn't something, this period of time in the world, I'm telling you, what you put out is coming back to you. And people don't really realize what that means, but it's coming back. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to find out, and it's going to hit them hard. Because, yeah, you're going and doing this, just mad slaughter on all of these living beings, whatever vehicle they're driving, they're living beings, and you're coming in and doing this whole slaughter, then that is coming back on you. So just it's all coming back. It's like, yeah, it's hard for a lot of us to watch and go through this, but I don't know. Is it going to be hard to watch the repercussions of what people have put out? Probably. It probably will be. It's probably going to be and that's probably the tribulation, is the emotional trauma that is going to go on when people realize, like, yeah, the universe is watching. Like, there's repercussions to what you do. It's like, turn the book on inside of you. You don't need a fucking book outside of you to tell you shit. It's written inside of you. And then, when I can get up myself all worked up, get up my little fucking podium or whatever. But the thing is, I have to remind myself is every soul is here to experience what they're experiencing. Every soul, that there is a learning lesson. There's something associated with what their experience is. So you can't do it wrong. So whatever their lessons are, they're in the process of learning them. But it still is a hard watch. It's a hard pill to swallow, to watch all of this stuff going on. But that is, in my own process of learning and experiencing, has to do with pulling out from all of the different dramas and pulling yourself into observation of no judgment, just like they do in the heavens. They can watch, and no matter what you do, they don't judge you, because there's a comprehension of the learning that is going on. And it's like learning hands-on. And, that's the best way to learn. And I used to think about this all the time about school. And especially when my kids were in school, because when I was in school, we did have hands-on. We did have cooking class and sewing class. We were doing things hands-on, learning how to do it. And then they stopped doing that kind of stuff. And it just became a lot of lecturing and telling things. And I always was like, I don't get about, you learn more from hands-on. And some people learn in all different ways, but most things you do, when you're doing them, you learn how to do them. And so the actual learning through experience is like, you're not just, going and reading about the lessons, because we can learn from each other. But what blocks us from learning from each other is judgment. The more you can put your judgment aside, the more you can learn without going through the experience of hands-on. But there's a lot of experiencing that is hands-on. So you come into the experience to actually experience. So you've got your hands on whatever it is that you're experiencing. But that doesn't mean it's a good outcome. It's like, we're going to see a lot of people who don't really realize the repercussions to what they've done. And so it's going to hit hard. And this guy, I mean, his may be about humiliation and having to, face yourself. Like, you get caught doing something like that. And then every time you go look in the mirror and you see that guy's face looking at you, and then you start really having to get absorbed what you've done. And, I don't know. And this is not the first time these people are doing it. I don't even understand, just like what I was saying yesterday, how do people look at an infant and think that? How do people look at a toddler and think? How do people look at their pet and think, like, yeah, it's like, what in the world is wrong? Like, I just swear to God, it's like, they're all here. This is what I gotta remind myself. They're here for their own experience. They're here for the hands-on experience, for whatever the repercussions are, the consequences, because it's choices and consequences, choices and consequences. So whatever their consequences are is what they're here to experience. And the rest of us, and to come into the higher mind, is to not sit in judgment, to be able to pull free from judgment and to sit in observation and just witness, and not be I feel emotional about it. It's a process. It's a process to be able to just, like, all this horrific stuff, like these people who are just killing all these animals. It's really hard to not be judgmental of them and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? So it's, you know, I mean, we're all in our thing to learn our own stuff, but I do know that we do have to pull free from that. We're not meant to sit in judgment and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It is, every experience is to be experienced by the Almighty mind, so that everything can play through, and we're the players. So everything is happening to have the experience logged in, like, so it's all to see. And but as different sides of us see different things, we have to allow all experiences to exist rather than to try and control and uh, we can't go in and make the world what we want it to be. We can't go in and control other people's learning because we don't find it acceptable. We need to allow all things to happen and sit back, just like the higher mind does, in observation and just witness. And we're in the experience, and it makes it a lot more difficult, especially like feeling the energy. Like, fucking, it feels like it. The energy feels so motherfucking intense. I can't even believe it. I feel like, I swear to God, I feel like I'm coming out of my skin. I feel like my every freaking nerve in my body feels like it's alive and high alert. I feel like everything is so fucking intense. The smells are intense. The sounds are intense. Everything is like. The thing about today is something about, I don't know, something about Pluto, something about this alignment. It's never happened or something, and what it means. And then it also has something about time and this merging of time and time stopping and time standing still, which I have noticed. There's a lot of weird things with time. It feels like it's like at some points like jumping, and then it feels like it's going slow, then it feels like it's jumping. And definitely all of my things are not on the same time anymore. Like my car, my phone, what was that? Because there was 3 things the other day, and none of them had the same time on them. Seems like I was thinking as my radio, you know, like how your radio will pop up with the time thing, and then the car over where there's a time thing. Like there was 3 different time things with my phone, and nothing was lining up. All of them are off from each other. So there's this time is fracturing, like, and so that's supposed to be, this is supposed to be something with time today, the fracture of time, and we're going to experience time in a weird way. But everything seems to be like a weird experience right now. Everything is so fucking intense. And, oh man, I swear to God, I feel like I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. So, part of my thing is to try and maintain, keep my shit together, even when my stomach's growling, and what everything is. I feel like I'm about to pee my pants. I feel like everything is so intense right now. It's like so crazy. But let's see. So let me think what all I was talking about. Okay, so we got the pervs are being busted right and left, all over the place. Like there's like pervs being busted and exposed everywhere. And so that, whatever you're doing, you better be willing to have the world see it because this is the time. And so we got that going. We got the game is getting intense on the baseball game. So we've got I think we have a big hitter up. It is going to move things quicker. I think at first is going to be stolen I think first is like going to steal and get to second, and then for the hitter is going to go into first, but they're going to both run, and that's going to put them on third and second. So I think we're going to have a big a big thing that's going to happen today, and then the next hitter is going to come in and is going to go to first, but that is going to it'll go to first, but then the next hitter is going to bring them all home. So it's going to be a big home run, but the bases are going to be loaded when it has a home run. It's not going to just be one, no. So I feel like the bases are being loaded right now. And I mean, we may not know all the different things that are even going on, but it seems like there's a lot going on. And so it's loading the bases for the home run. And when it hits, it's like that flip, that cartwheel is going to flip and it's going to just go to the next thing. And which probably will, everything's going to start happening way faster. That could be something also in regards with whatever, with time today, this weird thing about time. And it is a whole thing. Like, you have to listen to some of these people, how they explain this whole thing about time. And it has to do when they started with time and these numbers and it's a whole thing. I don't even know, because I can just listen to it and be like, oh, that's interesting. But we'll see. We'll see what today brings. We're here for the experience. We're gonna experience what today brings. So this is part of our experience of being here at this time. So we'll see what this day brings. We'll see what the next day brings. And but right when I'm in the middle of this moving and stuff, and all these storms and everything, and so I'm of course watching that, and then start questioning, like, what am I doing? Why am I going to Idaho now? Like, yeah, when I had first said about the building a house out there, and he was like, oh yeah, but see, he was thinking, oh yeah, Kelly's dreaming again, but because people don't see what's coming. It's like, no, this big change is going to occur. And then he said, well, when it happens, we'll reevaluate it. I said, okay, well, it's fine. If you don't want me to build one, I'm just saying I'm not going to be staying. This is transitional. I'm going towards a home. I'm not going to live in a shop forever. Like, this is what my future is, going towards a home. And it's weird because I've waited and waited for the door to open. Like, I didn't push this door open. The door opened. And so I wasn't pounding on the door and saying, open, open, open. No, it was the door open. I was sitting here for months and months saying, like, I'm waiting for a door to open. I'm waiting for a door to open. The door opened. I went through it just like I said I would. I've gone through it. And now it's like, okay, so now what's up? Now what's the next thing? And so that's what, I'm waiting to see. There has to be a reason why I was going into there. There has to be some kind of thing. So the next thing is obviously going to be there. However it falls into place, whatever happens, is, I feel like this is where it's supposed to happen, I guess. And I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I mean, his other part of his life's in California, in Southern California. And I don't like to even say some of the stuff because it's like, Debbie Downer or something, doomsday dweller. But there's going to be big things that are going to happen over there. And there's going to be people over there that are going to be very affected. And there's going to be people, we're going to lose a lot of people off of what as this reality continues into the next phase. It's going to be a lot of people that seem to die, that we lose a lot of people. But we got to remember, we're not really losing them. They're just finished their storyline, and they've moved out of that storyline and went to the next one. So it's not that we've lost them. They've finished what they came to do, and they've moved on. But in the scheme of things, as the world progresses, it's going to be like a lot of loss. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't know. It could be like I'm going over there and I'm going to be on his property, and then he could be, a part of the aftermath. He could end up being gone from this thing, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to figure this out and figure that out, but you don't really know what's about to happen. And I don't know. I mean, there's no way to know who all is leaving, I mean, I think most of us are going to be affected by loss, because how is 2/3 of the population going to not be affected? And so, but that's the drama that creates humanity to be more caring and compassionate, and more value life and value everything that's alive. Because right now, they're freaking lost. So, so I don't know. I have no idea why I was moved to that place and all of that stuff. So it's like I gotta just see what's next. And but he did say, he would reevaluate when the things go down. And I did remind. I said, well, it's gonna hit hard. A lot of you people who have these homes that are $1 million, and when this goes down and your house is suddenly worth like 20,000, it's gonna hit hard. And I said, but you just gotta remember that you don't owe anything. And then there's also this part where they say that all of the interest that we've paid throughout our life is going to go back to us because it was illegal. So the amount of interest and stuff is going to go back to you and go into whatever it is that you're getting. And I told him, luckily you've already bought another house, because he has his property and he has his expensive house in California, but then he bought another house in Idaho, so another fancy house. So you'll have that house. Luckily, you have that investment and stuff, and you have that house, and you won't owe anything on it, even though you're going to lose out on this other one. But that's the thing too, is a lot of people don't realize, like, that whole area is going to be underwater, so that house is a loss anyways. It's all those places are going to be a loss. Just like fucking talk to the people in Alaska right now. Their homes are fucking floating out in the ocean. And talking to people in North Carolina, their houses went in a mud flood down the fucking side of a mountain. So there's this is what's going to go on over there. The whole place is going to be underwater. In the coastline, that's going to be way gone. I mean, the water is going to come up like 100 miles inland. So yeah, it's going to be like a lot of loss there. So yeah, that house was always going to be gone. Like when he said that he's going to be putting it on the market in January, and I'm thinking, I don't even know that California is going to still be there in January. Like, we got to see what goes down. And I still don't know what this Diega report is about, this population and the census and stuff, and this 2/3 of the population going to be gone by the end of 2025. And then my mom's saying, well, yeah, that's biblical. It's going to be 2/3 of the population is going to be gone. It's like, man, that's a lot of people. But then, what was the place? Mexico. Mexico had just lost 30,000, and 19,000 were missing. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be bigger numbers like that. And if that goes in California, it's going to be way bigger numbers. It's not going to be 30,000. It's going to be 350,000 are dead, and 3 million are missing and stuff. It's going to be big, fucking huge numbers. So that is, it's like we're at this point in time of change. It's like big change. And, it's like you got to be able to ride the wave. And we've been building up to this, like, and even though it's been slow and tedious, but you can see it's like we've been building up, and there's going to be some big, huge things that are going to happen. And it's going to be very traumatic. And so it's, and it can be, like at any moment. That's the thing, is like we're not going to see it coming. And it's going to be just sudden. So, but, for the money thing, we have been seeing that coming. A lot of people are watching the wrong thing. They're looking over here when they should have been looking over there. But I was like, man, I think everybody needed a conspiracy theorist in their life. Everybody needed to be looking at the darker side of things. I mean, it's weird to me, being a conspiracy theorist for my whole life, that it is weird to me, the people who aren't. Like, I don't get that way of thinking. I don't get how you're not looking at things in this other way. But now, as things are going, it's like, even though, you know, a lot of us have been called kooky and crazy and ridiculous and stuff for so long, that it's going to be a very different way that people are going to be looking at us soon. Like, and to me is like I don't get how it is that you don't look at things in this more suspicious, deeper way. But I don't know, their lessons have to do with something different. We all have lessons behind it. Just like if you are the conspiracy theorist in your group, then you know, like, the things you have to get over, being called crazy and weird and everybody laughing at you, nobody paying attention to you, and all of that stuff. And it's like you got to work through that. So it has to do with your lessons, it has to do with what you're here to experience, it has to do with what you're here to grow about. So that has certain things. And the people who have not listened, and they've had somebody sitting there chirping the whole time, telling them this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's not going to happen. Oh, it's like, oh, no, that's like crazy. That's a fantasy, all that stuff. Then their lessons have to do with something different. And that's the thing, is like some of us have been learning our lessons already, while others are about to be hit hard with their lessons. It just depends on which side of the flip you were on. If you were on the part like you're running up to it, or you're on the part that once it flips and it's like, so we in this world, in this arena, we have different sides of the lessons that we're on. And oh, another thing too, and I don't know what, I swear to God, I had heard about this a while ago, but I just heard somebody talking about it, and it's happening right now too. We got a lot of shit happening right now, but this is the water changed directions, which the world is changing directions. Everything's micro macro. So the water changed directions, which from the heat or something. So the pole shift, the water changing directions, but it is now affecting the ice wall because the salt or something, so it's melting it. And so the ice wall is melting. I said this years and years ago. I said that I thought that the ice wall could be melting, and the melt would rise the water. But there's still going to be these big dramatic things. But the water is going to, the ice wall is going to melt, and the firmament is going to bust. So it's like we are in a bubble. We're in a space-time bubble of experience, and the bubble is going to bust. But it has to do with the vibration. It has to do with the vibration of the birth of something new, like this big bang. It's like this big bang happening. It's like the birth of something new, because it was a containment, and now the containment is being sacrificed through the change in vibration, through our anointment to higher mind, to our going outside of what the parameters of thought were, and moving out past that and changing our way of thinking and our direction. And you see people all the time now, all on board on this, you know, like we shouldn't be living this way. And it's like a whole movement of thought. It's the ripple effect of the beginning, and now it's rippled out and throughout. And so that is the change of vibration, so the change of thought that creates the new world. And it's like an expression of explosion of a change in how to think about something. It's like, you know, in the micro macro, it's like a light bulb. All of a sudden, epiphany, where it's like you're doing something, and all of a sudden it's epiphany. And so that is what we are in, the world of an epiphany. And it's like this bang of energy, and that's why it's this big bang of it. And it's like this beginning again. It's like a new start. It's like a new thing comes from this explosive energy of this big bang of like of a direction, a change in direction. And but it's the change in direction is from us all changing our vibration, us all being dissatisfied with the containment, and us breaking it apart. So that's why we got the ice wall melting, we got the firmament flimsy, we got all sorts of things going in the sky. And so that is going to be what it is that I keep talking about, this cosmic change. And how I kept saying it's like this big bang, it's like this big energy, and it's like this, the the completion of the cartwheel. It's like the flipping. So we're in this flipping, and it's already moving, because for the water to change direction, it's like the hands have already hit the thing. It's already in the process. That's why nothing can change what's happening. It's not like we could all sit and pray it away or something. No, we are in the process of change, and we came here for the change. We came here to ride the wave of change because of all of what we could purge of all of our experiences through riding this wave of change. So it is, it's in the micro macro, a change on all levels. It's us having an opportunity to change ourselves and the world changing and everything in between. So that is this experience that we're here to go through, is this evolution of time space, this new evolvement of a new world. But an old world has to end in order for a new world to begin. And the old world is ending. We're in the process of it ending. And it is scary. It is intense. And it is like, you don't know what to expect. And so, that's what we're going through. But when we go through it, it is our own divinity that holds our own hand through it. Like, you see people losing their shit. Like, man, driving lately is like insane. People are just insane out there. And so people are losing their shit. And this is a time where you have to become your own best friend. You have to, be able to self-soothe. You have to be able to suck your own thumb, to be able to calm yourself down. You have to talk yourself through it. You cannot just rely on everybody to save you. And we have so many people out there who are looking for somebody to save them. But it's like, you are always your own savior. Go in. Go towards you. You are here to save yourself. There's nobody out there who's came to save you. Everybody came to save themselves. And it's our own dependency and our own lack of our own lack of like self-identity is why we think we need somebody else to get us through this. And then you see it playing out in all these different ways in different relationships and stuff. But truly it is us coming into our own. It's the shedding of your old self, but it's the meeting of your new self in the connection to your higher self. And your higher self is like your God. It's like your savior that you are really here to, but it's you who is here to save yourself. So it's your higher self. It's your higher mind. It's your more your higher expression of self. That is your God that is here to save you. But you have to connect to you. So you have to pull yourself up to the highest version of self. So that is the process that we're going through in order to get ourselves to that state of mind. So it's everything is in you. It's like you go through you to save you. But everybody's trying to, like, this relationship will save me, this parent will save me, this will save me, that will save me. And it's like, no, the savior is you. It's you are your own God. You are the one who's here to save yourself. And when you feel weak and you feel helpless, it's you have an aspect of self that is the higher mind. That is what you need to connect to. That is your higher self. And then that is the connection through your divinity. That's where you want to connect to your soul. The higher aspect of self is to disconnect from all of this experience, the 3D experience, and connect to your soul, which is the spiritual world, because that is where your real world is. And so that is this process of we're going through the splitting from the 3D to the 5D. if you want to call it that, is to take your mind's focus off of this experience and pull it into self and connect to the higher version of yourself and pull yourself towards that version of yourself. And it's a changing direction. It's a change in what you pay attention to. In what this world is, this constant draw, 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 draw to pull your focus onto it to keep you from this evolution. And so that is all of the drama and all of the division and all of that stuff is to keep you farther from yourself. But that's why you got to break through and break through all the stuff. You got to pay attention to, like, what's the distraction and what is the higher mind? What in the higher mind sits in observation. It doesn't sit and judge you and think like, you stupid ass, you should have done this. I told you to do it last week. It doesn't look at it that way. It just sits back and watches how learning expresses, how you learn. How does this happen? How do you become this? That is what we're here to experience. And that's why when these people sit here and say, just quantum jump, just jump out of this world and into the other world. It's like you can throw your line. You can, like how rock climbers or something, they got to throw the line to the next thing. You can throw that line to your higher self, but you can't bypass. You have got to throw into the higher mind and then pull yourself towards. But there's lessons and there's parts of you got to let go of. You got to shed the old part of you that was comfortable in this 3D world. So you got to shed the old side of you and pull towards the new it's the version of you that's always been there, but you got to pull towards it. But anyways, this quantum jump, and you just jump over here and jump over there. You go. You cannot just jump from what was holding you. Like, how do you let go of that? You got to let go of it by going through a process. So even if you try and jump, you're going to keep slipping back and slipping back until you've shed all these sides of yourself and can really hook in to the higher version of yourself. And you got to think about, like, what is the universe? What is the higher mind? What is the higher vibration? And what is the difference in the lower vibration and the higher vibration? I mean, it does definitely have to do with judgment. And we are trapped in a state of judgment. And that is what we are breaking free from. That is why you got to break into the higher mind of observation, of being able to witness what is going on and not feel like it's taking from you. Because in this world, it does. And you have emotions. Like, it's hard to not feel empathy. When you've got your empathy and compassion turned on so high, and then you have so much empathy and compassion for all these animals, say, and then you see all this abuse happening, it's hard to not feel frustrated and angry and stuff. But those are the things that we are here to overcome and override this system, because this isn't real. This is things happening for different souls to experience. It's just all a bunch of things happening, and we get ourselves caught up in it. But the more you can step out and step back and connect with your higher self and sit, and it's not sitting in judgment looking down, it's just sitting in observation and witnessing and seeing. And the reason you want to sit in observation and witness is because you learn. You learn from all things. And you have all things here available for you to learn from. And otherwise, it's like, yeah, you got to go through things. And if you find yourself in judgment, that is like the precursor to the experience. So if you find yourself in judgment, like, you'll find yourself in the experience so that you can learn. Because things are different than, it's so true about that. You have to walk a mile in their shoes. You don't know what gets somebody to do the things that they do. And so you get to go in and experience so you can see. And so, yeah, I mean, some of the things seem so crazy, like, what in the world? But, I mean, that guy could have been you know, had really weird things happen to him as a child from other adults. And so, you know, we don't know what all the different things are in somebody's life. And we certainly don't want to go through those lives to go and learn it hands on. It's a lot easier just to observe and be like, well, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's, well, I guess it could be a lot easier than going through some of the things that, you know, uh, draws people into doing the things that they do that we find as being heinous. And so, but I definitely know the higher mind is not of judgment. And that's why, you know, you can rest assured that you're not going to hell and you're not being judged for the things that you do. You are free to experience yourself so that you can understand yourself on a deeper level. And the universe doesn't find you offensive or doesn't say you are bad. It is just, you know, you're just on somebody's TV and they're watching you. So to me, I've always felt like, you know, aware that we're being watched all the time. I was told that when I was little. Like I was told we were watched all the time. I was shown, it was like we were in a zoo. It's like we are being watched, just like how we go to a zoo and we watch the animals. We stand at the monkey thing and watch the monkeys. That's what this place is we're at. We are watched in the same sense of that. And then there's a whole thing too about an experiment where there's experimentation and stuff, which, you know, as we awaken and we see like, oh, there's a lot of experimentation going on here. So, you know, so I don't really understand all of the level, but when I was a kid, that was two big things I was told. Was that this is like a zoo and there's an experiment. And so, but I don't know the level. There's so many things. It's like once we get through all this and look back, then I'll be like, oh, so uh, uh, the experiment was like on all these different levels because that's one thing in the micro, macro, everything is an expression of everything else. And there's always another level, another level, another level. And it all depends on what level you focus your energy on, which becomes your reality. So, anyway, I'm just like talking and going off on, but everything feels so intense, so good. So, so let's see. So I think I've said what I got to say about that, and and we've got a lot of shit going on. We'll see what this day brings us. We'll see what this whole week brings us. And there's a lot of shit going on with the Atlas. There's a lot of shit going on. But there was this whole thing with the peace treaties, and that's a big part of the NG. And so that and it all has to do with this global peace on earth. It has to do with everybody saying, hey, we're all signing on. And signing on brings the abundance to your country. So everyone who signs on gets their share of the gold, and then it's distributed through the different communities. And so that's where I am saying that when one of the ways they're going to give back here in America is going to be through incentive programs such as building communities. So it's going to be a lot going into new homes and new towns, because it's not all going to be going into these cities and putting new home. No, it's going to be spreading out. There's so much land, and there's like becoming more in union with the land. So spreading out and beginning new communities is going to be a big thing. So I think there's going to be a lot of incentives about that, and starting new places and new cities and new towns and getting people more involved. And my mom was saying something yesterday about president, and she hopes that he gets another 4 years. And I said, I think he's the last one. I don't see government going on the same direction. I don't see a federal. The whole thing is going to go. It's all been a part to control and contain us and to tax us and to keep us under the supervision of law and stuff. Oh, now she's dreaming. I'm telling you, this is so So anyways, the but I do think Donald is probably the last one. I think that this is the time of change, and that there are going to be a lot of incentives to try and spread us out through more land and starting new places and getting people more involved in community and becoming community leaders and really figuring out what it is they want and how they want to live and stuff. So I think that's the direction we're going to go. But and it probably will be something to do with some bad shit that's going to happen. But I don't think the Atlas is something that we need to worry about. I definitely think they are here to give guidance and to help. And probably it would be because there's going to be a lot of loss, in that they are going to help people understand it's just a change in form. It's just moving through realities one after another, that you're not losing people like it feels like. It's so we can get up and go on, and we can start building what's coming, because that's what we're here for. We're here to rebuild, to make a new world. And so we got to go through the process of the pain, because that is what the creates change. But also, we can't get stuck there. We can't be stagnant. We have to move forward, and we can't have a new world until the old one's got to go in order to have a new one. So we've got to go through the experience of this loss of what was, and move towards what is to be. So, and it's written in the stars. Like, this is a cosmic cycle. This is a set thing. So it's happening, and we're in the process of it happening. So that's the awakening. It's coming to it and realizing what's going on here. Not just realizing like it sucks here with these people trying to control us and these horrible things, but it is to realize that we're here for this change. We're here to evolve ourselves, and we're here for a big change in this cosmic cycle. So anyways, that's the way I see it. So however you see it's how you see it. How I see it's how I see it. And that's the way it is. Like, there's nothing to argue about. And I swear, well, this is as slow as anything. Like, this whole process, everything's so slow. My hair is definitely. And it's so funny too, because when I was younger, it used to be like, man, my hair grows fast. But the evidence shows, like, I would not say my hair grows fast at this point. But it's weird too. It's because I'm always having to cut the boss. So yesterday I was getting so annoyed with my hair too. Everything I was trying to do was getting caught in it. Like, you're trying to do something and your hair's stuck and it couldn't. Yesterday I lost so much hair. It was just fucking falling out, shedding. It was just everywhere. It was like, son of a bitch, man. Jesus Christ. So, anyways, whatever with that. This thing it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then this thing, it just keeps going slowly. It changes. So, but there is going to be, I hope that this week is the money fucking fail. And I hope that we're in the med beds by next week. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my hopes. That's my dreams. That's my vision, is that if this crash, and for new starts, and for med beds. Like, let's get in there, get healthy, get healed, because this is draining. Which I just saw a video now of on the planes. So the world, the health, the those people who think they're in charge of our health, who are poisonous, to make sure that because they're really you with the gin and ticks. So they really are not out to try and save our health. They're out to destroy it and profit off of it while they do. And so on airplanes, which, don't forget how sick I got right after getting off that airplane. And my daughter got really sick. And but so they've gotten busted now where the steward, they're going through and spraying and spraying and spraying. So somebody stopped them and said, "What is it you're spraying?" And they said, well, we're supposed to spray it. It's like a disinfectant to go from, all these different people. And so they said, "Well, what is it?" And so they read the ingredients. She said, This person said, like, the people who were spraying it had never even read it. They had no clue. They're just told to do it, so follow orders. But then all of a sudden, when they go and they read it, it's like, oh, it's a pesticide. So it's a poison, and it's making us sick, just like every fucking other thing out here. So yeah, interesting how sick I got from the time I got back. And I was like, man, something's up. Well, could have been, whatever. They're spraying us with poison. So, and when I was on one of the flights, because my daughter and I are sitting there, and this whole spray starts coming out. It wasn't going around spraying. It was like coming out of the fucking vents. And I was like, what the hell? Are they gassing us? And probably they're gassing us with the pesticides. So, anyways, they're purposely making us sick. We know that for sure. So, that's that. That's what the day is. That's what this world is. Like, but we're going into a new one. We're getting away from this sick old one, and we're going into a new one where we're going to be healthy and feel good. We're not going to be poisoned and dragging our asses and our hair falling out. So, anyways, but while you're going through all of this stuff, you've got to maintain what is important. And what is important, why are you here? It's for you. It's for your evolvement. And so, learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody else, because it's important, and learning how to have the day you want to have. Those are primary things that need to be the focus. Yeah, focus on what you want to focus on, but I'll just say, I think that would be a good idea. So, anyways, but we'll see what this day brings, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.